Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Real Drinks with Aiello Flores. I am super excited about this new podcast. For those of you that are just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. We talk about movies and we drink. It's one of my favorite things to do, two of my favorite things to do. And today's guest is somebody I've known for 23 years. Holy God, it's been a very long time. We met back in the Universal Studios days.
Yes.
And he's been an actor, a writer, producer, you name it, he's done it. And you might recognize this guy from all of the Halloween Horror Night stuff at Universal Studios. Please welcome my good friend, Mr. Mike Aiello. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, my friend.
And your very real background.
Yes, that's actually my daughter made that. That's
Oh,
the
no
logo.
way. Look at that.
Yeah, she designed the logo for Real Drinks.
Very nice. Very
Yeah, man.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, put
brother.
the family to work. It's why we have them.
Hell yeah, dude. She's my retirement. How you doing, brother?
I'm great. I'm great. Day by day, like everybody else during this weird time we're in. But
Right.
no, I'm thrilled to be doing this. Anytime I can talk about a film that I love
Mhm.
with a friend that I also love is good times.
Yeah, dude.
And there's drinks involved. So I'm that
You can't
this
go
is
wrong.
even though we're in the Zoom era, it still feels like we're in the same room, Ali.
Yes, it does. Now, what's killer is this, like just your background, the amount of movie memorabilia and stuff that you have back there. Holy cow.
Yeah, I got a little bit of everything. Yeah, I won't I guess I'm already spoiling. I've got a lot of the things that we're talking about up to the front.
Yeah, I was about to say
Um
you're wearing the shirt, Mike. Like,
yeah. Well, hold on. Here we go.
whoa. Wow, look at that. So, as those of you who have not figured it out, we are going to be talking about the amazing movie, The Amityville Horror. Um,
I have that too.
oh,
Look at that.
dear.
There's a model right there of the Amityville house right there.
Awesome. We're talking about Jaws. Awesome, great movie. Um, so yeah, so all right, Jaws comes out. Gosh, the year after I was born.
Yep.
And
74.
I was born in '74. It
Yep.
was born in. It came out in '75.
Yes.
Um, an amazing film, ahead of its time, I felt. Um, so before we get into the film, let's talk
Yeah.
about what you do,
Okay.
why you love the film, how we know each other, all that crap.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we know each other from Universal. We worked together at Nickelodeon Game Lab for several years,
Hmm.
sliming kids and playing games and giving tours. And yeah, and I did Blues Brothers, but prior to that, my Jaws history was that was my first job at Universal, was working at the Jaws ride
You were a
at
skipper.
Universal Florida. I was a skipper, and we went around the old lagoon, 88 times a day, and killed the shark 88 times, and we had grenade launchers, and we got hit with very clean water, and and animatronic sharks tried to eat us all day. And it was like I was 17 years old when I started at the park, when I started. And
Wow.
I got a job when I auditioned. um that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work. That was the only thing I wanted to do, was work on the Jaws ride. Like if I had gotten anything else, I probably would have gone, I'm good. Because I was still in high school.
Right.
I started in March of '96, which was my senior
Wow.
year of high school. And I was like, I don't have to work. But this came up, and it was getting close to spring break. So I decided I'm gonna see if I can get a part-time job killing Jaws, killing the great white
Wow.
shark. And it was just because I love this movie so much. And I also love that ride.
Mhm.
I went as a guest prior to that. My grandfather was the city of Orlando inspector for the Universal Florida property.
Shut your face hole.
Yeah. So I was around like all the time in that park. So that was the gig for me. At 17 years old, I wanted to make a living as a fake skipper on a fake boat fighting a fake shark. And that job opened my entire life, like just working there,
Yeah.
and moving on to Nickelodeon, and then being a Blues Brother and Horror Makeup Show, and eventually starting to write content for the parks, Bill and Ted, and Halloween. It just became this, let's see what comes next. It was really kind of, all right, next thing. How can I keep growing?
Right.
And almost 25 years later, I'm a
Good Lord.
senior director for the park, working on all kinds of content for our future. So it's been awesome, and it all started for me killing that shark with a fake grenade
Wow.
launcher.
That's awesome, brother. That's so cool. So
Yeah, it was
what
great.
drew you
It
to
was
the
great.
film? Like, do you remember the first time you saw the movie?
Yes, I saw it on VHS. I saw it on VHS at my house.
Hmm.
There was a movie gallery. Video was like a block away from our house, so we used to go there all the time. That, and there was a Blockbuster later on, but and every Thursday, Friday night would be, just load up on as many movies as you can, carry out the door. And I remember getting Jaws. I would think I was like 9 or 10 years old the first time
Wow.
I saw it, which was a little later compared to the other films I've seen. Like I saw Halloween way earlier,
Wow.
and I saw like Frankenstein way earlier. But Jaws, I was like 10, and it blew my mind. I was terrified. I was also, like probably a lot of kids at the time. Anytime I went in my grandmother's pool, I was always nervous
Hmm.
swimming in a pool, thinking about, oh God, if a shark comes through the grate in the bottom of the deep end and tries to get me. But I loved it, man. It was like everything that I loved as a kid growing up, because I loved horror movies, I loved adventure movies.
Hmm.
It has all of those things. It's a horror movie, it's an adventure film. It's a drama, for a lot of the main
Yeah.
characters in that, the kind of the trio there. So it just has everything, and an amazing score. And
Yes.
then it wasn't until I got older that I really started, like, really investigating, how it was made, and really kind of diving in, being more of a fan of the film rather than just a lover of the movie.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you mentioned the VHSs. And you're talking about as many as we could bring. I think you could bring four because that's about as much as you could carry with those massive things. You're like,
Yeah, like the big, either it was the Blockbuster jewel cases, or it was the plastic that you would press the bottom, and the
hmm.
VHS would slide out the bottom. Yeah.
Oh my God, we're old. We're
Yes.
old. We're so
But it's
old.
all it's all coming back. VHS is going to come back. Vinyl's back. It's all going to come back.
Yeah, but vinyl's different than VHS. um, okay, so before we get into the film, we found out why you love the film, why you got into it, the fact that you started doing, Jaws ride at Universal. Let's talk about what we're drinking now. It's normally we drink the same thing,
I
and
failed.
hopefully once the COVID is done, I could supply the drink for everyone, and you guys we go to the studio and we don't have to do this at Zoom, and we can get drink, but we couldn't do that. So you had suggested the beer that Quint drinks,
Correct.
and you could not find it.
No, in Claremont, I went to ABC. I went to what is the equivalent of Total Wine, but apparently not as good. Uh, and I could not find it. It's actually a little harder to find. But
Yeah,
you did find it.
I did find it. I have I don't even know how to pronounce it. Narragansett. Like
Yeah. Narragansett.
Narragansett
It
lager.
sounds the same whether you're drunk or sober, and that's why
Yes.
they named it that.
And it says since 1890 this
Yeah.
beer, and I guess it's from Maine, which
Yes.
makes sense
Yeah. Total
out there.
sense.
So I found it. You could not. What are you drinking?
I have a vodka tonic, but it is in a Jaws themed commemorative glass.
There you go.
My backup, if I'd had it in the house, which I thought I did when I got home, and I wasn't about to go back out because it's scary out there, um, was I was gonna fill this glass up with red wine to about the just the edge, just like Brody does when he's
Yes.
sitting around the dinner table, but I didn't have any red wine, so Tito's vodka and tonic it is in a Jaws glass.
I'm gonna try this. And what's funny is I wonder how this is going to taste. I was like, man, this is probably going to taste. I wonder if it's good. And then I went, I kind of hope it's not because I kind of think Quint would be drinking some nasty shit. Like it's just nobody drinks his beer, you know?
Yep.
So let's see. Let's see what this tastes like. Oh my God.
I've never had
This
it.
this tastes like the old like Schlitz with the pull
Mm,
tabs back in the
yeah.
day.
So it tastes like aluminum.
Oh God. Yeah. This tastes exactly like Quint. If you picture Quint, this is what he tastes like.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you get done with that, you have to drink it. Well, I won't make you pound it like Quint, but
Oh
after you get
God.
done, your last gulp, you got to crush it real close to
Mm-hmm.
your face. And then I don't even have a styrofoam cup to do the Richard Dreyfuss second to that. But I did not prepare myself.
All right. For the two people that have never seen the film,
Yes,
I want the Mike Aiello synopsis. Go through it. Give me the play by play of the film.
sure. So Jaws takes place in a sleepy Maine town called Amity, and it takes place in July. It's right near the 4th of July, and this small island town, Amity, is a vacation town. So all of their tourism is necessary in those vacation months. And as luck would have it, it is around this time that a massive great white shark finds its way into the warm waters, the cooler waters of this sleepy town, and wreaks havoc. And so the shark arrives, also fairly new to the town, is a brand new chief of police named Martin Brody, and he's actually a city boy. So he's not from Amity, and that's kind of a big deal to the town, in a bad way. He's
Mm-hmm.
a city boy. He didn't grow up in this Maine community. Um, and why I keep saying Maine, because the movie was shot in Martha's Vineyard, which is a beautiful coastal town. Um, but anyhow, so Brody, he's relatively new. He's kind of green to the city, to the little town. He's kind of green to the ways of this town. So he's really a fish out of water, unfortunately. And the situation is that does not help that, as far as this new threat that has come to this small town. And there is an unfortunate killing. The movie opens with a vicious shark attack. It is, to this day, it is still the most vicious attack I've ever seen on screen. Um, and that is the main entry point for
Mm-hmm.
this shark's existence, and how the town is going to deal with it. So you've got Brody, then you've also got the opposite of Brody, which is a gentleman by the name of Mayor Vaughn, and he is the consummate politician. Um, he refuses. It's kind of appropriate for the day we're
I was
living
just about to say it.
in. He refuses to accept the danger that has plagued his small town, and decides that we're not going to close the beaches, because that would be crazy. This is a tourism town. We need that income. We're going to keep the beaches open, and we'll set up some towers, and you get you some binoculars and keep a watchful eye. But this is not a threat. Meanwhile, there's a couple more incidents that occur. There's an amazing, one of the best scenes. Um, am I skipping ahead, Ali?
No, you're doing well. You're
Okay,
doing good.
okay, all right, all right.
We'll go
I didn't
back
know
and
if
hit
we.
some stuff.
Okay, all right. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Well, I've got a ton, but one of my favorites is a scene that involves two fishermen, who have decided they're going to catch this shark, because that's the other major plot point is, the town is now declared a reward for whoever kills this great white shark, and so enters our other character, to the is what is the trio, which is Quint, played by the amazing Robert Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
And Quint is the Ahab to the Moby Dick. That is his character. He lives on the sea. He's killed many sharks. So he and others in this town have got this quest now to kill this shark. So there's this awesome scene with these two guys from Amity, and they're on the edge of this pier, this dock, and they have one of the guys' wife It's his it's like a rump roast, I guess, that
Hmm.
was supposed to be for the holiday weekend. But he's hooked it and he's using it as bait in the water, tied to a tire. And it is the most awesome scene because you never see the shark. You only hear John Williams' amazing score, and you see this tire kind of bob in the water, and then it goes, and this pier breaks off with one of the fishermen attached to the pier. So he's dragged out into the water. The pier keeps going. And then the most amazing thing happens. The pier, not the shark, the pier becomes the shark.
Yes.
It's our only way to see it. That pier turns around as the shark under the water is towing it and makes its way back for this unfortunate islander who's trying to swim back to shore. Fortunately, he makes it, but that scene is a perfect example of why the film ended up working the way that it does and why it is so well done. It is because of the fact that, and the famous phrase, the shark the shark didn't work. Shark was a
Hmm.
complete dud, technically, for this crew, for Spielberg, um, and they had to find workarounds constantly to keep the story going, even doing day by day rewrites, to ensure they could keep the story without showing much of the shark while they had to fix it. So
Wow.
this scene on the pier and many other scenes within the film, the three barrels, all of these objects become the extension of the shark. And honestly, it's a better film for it.
I was about to say it's a happy accident. It really is
Yes.
because it really sets up that suspense and the fact, you've got the guy on the dock going, swim,
Yes.
swim,
Yeah.
swim. And all you see is that dock coming in, just that piece of the dock coming after him. And
Hmm.
you're like, the
Yeah.
dock's going to get him. The
And the
dock's going to get
score.
him.
The score
Oh,
ramping up and increasing in intensity and then leveling off as he makes it to shore and that pier just passes him and beaches itself onto
ooh,
the shore. And the score completely resides right at that point. It's
oh.
perfect. It's a perfect scene.
Eh,
That scene among so many other perfect scenes in this movie.
and you were talking about the opening scene. I think that does set this movie up perfectly. It's dimly lit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a brutal attack, but
Yeah.
it's not like you look at horror films, especially nowadays, like The Purge and stuff like that. Like it's gory, you see all the crazy stuff. You didn't need that here. Um,
No.
all you need is a little red dye and just the action and the camera work and the flailing
Yeah. Yep.
and the low
Well,
light. It
and the
just uh
the urban legend on that first scene that everybody thinks happened is that because they're pulling her, they've got her harnessed, attached to the floor of the ocean, and
mhm.
they're using ropes to kind of, in a harness to kind of pull her from side to side. And the urban legend was that the scene you see in the movie is her actually having her back broken from being pulled left and right.
Oh wow.
That isn't true.
Oh.
The actress came out and said that did not occur. But the screams you do hear, like they did not tell her how they were going to pull her. They did not tell her
Oh,
when it was going to happen. They didn't tell her what direction things were going to happen.
great.
So that's why that scene feels so real, because she has no idea what's going on other than she's a victim of this harness, literally getting pulled under the water, up above the surface, side to side. So it comes off as a very real scene, but she did not break any bones in that scene. That's an urban legend.
I love that, Spielberg uses that and says, "We're not telling you. You're just going to have to react," which is the
Yeah.
best. You get the most real. Um, Boys in a Hood. The big scene in Boys in a Hood where they're all lined up and they're all parked on the car or on the street. And they're all
Hmm.
just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
Um, Singleton is the director. Singleton.
Uh,
Um,
I believe so.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "You guys take 5. Stay in your marks. Stay where you are. We're resetting the shot."
Hmm.
Well, he kept it going. And so everyone's just kind of chilling and talking while they're there. And then all of a sudden you hear that fire of that
Oh
weapon
wow, I didn't know that.
and you see everyone drop. They're like, "Whoa." They didn't know that was coming.
Wow, that's wild. I did not
It's
know that.
yeah, it's those type of moments. They're like, "We're gonna make this real. We're gonna make this real." And you gotta
Well,
make that
it
genuine reaction.
yeah, it's the equivalent of William Friedkin firing a gun in the bedroom next to the mom's face in Exorcist
Oh
for her to
yes.
jump. he was firing live, blanks in the on the set. Just directors are crazy, man.
Yes, they get the shot. They
Yes,
get the shot.
film is forever.
Yes, yes, it is. It's like, yeah, I
Uh,
know you can't hear out of your right ear anymore,
right.
but it looks amazing. It looks so good.
So, we've got Brody, we've got
Mhm.
Quint, who has one of the best monologues of him. Basically,
Oh,
there's this awesome scene where the entire town is gathering. Um, uh, the As a result of another death that happens, which is the Kittner boy, which is another really amazing sequence that Spielberg shot, with basically Brody kind of resigning to the fact that he's going to just stay on the beach and keep a watchful eye, and the town is basically unaware of the threat. They're aware there was some shark attacks, but they have no sorry. They're aware that there was a a body found.
right.
They don't release that it's a shark attack. They say it could have been a boat. They say all kinds of things. So Brody's on the shore, and there's this great sequence of shots where, and again, this is like film school. When you watch these things, you see how the sequence is constructed. There's a shot of Brody on the beach, and Spielberg basically uses the passing islanders as a way to cut around Brody watching the ocean. And as these people are passing, you're getting closer and closer on Brody, and then you're looking at the ocean, and you're seeing Brody, and this awesome sequence using basically people as a way to kind of
Mhm.
wipe the frame. Um, and it turns out at that moment, a unfortunate younger boy is killed by the shark in a fantastic sequence um, of not giving away too much again,
Right.
because they could have easily gone in real close and shown
Mhm.
the blood out of the water and the raft getting ripped apart, but no, it's far away, and you just see the edge of that shark kind of
Mhm.
almost as if he's like flipping over onto his belly,
Yeah.
as the Kittner boy's taken under. But it is a far shot. It's basically POV of what Brody's actually seeing,
Mhm.
and so that unfortunate killing occurs, which then results in the town gathering about what they're going to do. Are they going to close the beaches? And they finally say yes, they are. And that's when Quint makes his grand entrance of scraping his nails across a chalkboard and delivers
Oh.
this amazing monologue about you're going to need to kill the shark. I'll do it for the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. Again, it's an amazing monologue. I won't even try and replicate because it's just done so well. Um, but then that enters Quint. So we've got Brody and
Mhm.
Quint, and then the third character that is of kind of our triumvirate of basically, if you're looking at this from a writing standpoint, you've got the id, the super id, and the ego. Those are the three. Those
Wow,
are
we're
the
going
three.
deep. We're
Hey,
going deep. I
but
like it.
those are the three characters there. So
Mhm.
Hooper enters, and he is a scientist that Brody contacted because of his experience with sharks and being an oceanographer. And he's also from money, which is that's something that's more about in the book,
Yeah.
which we can talk about a little bit too if you want. Um, that the book's very different than the film. There's an entire affair between Ellen Brody and Matt Hooper in the book.
What?
Oh yeah, they meet,
Wow.
and they get it done.
See,
Yeah.
I knew about the affair between the shark and Quint in the book, but I didn't know about that one. That's wow.
Ugh, that's after they pull him under. It's how he got out of that situation. Guy, I'm just picturing that now, and it's horrifying.
I was sad they didn't keep the musical number in, but you know what? Some things don't translate. It's fine. It's good.
So they call Hooper, and he's supposed to be the brains of the operation now. To really, he confirms that it is not only a shark, but it's a great white, and it's massive. Um, a lot of things happen, but we basically the movie's kind of set up into two different halves. You've got kind of the suspenseful half, which is the front part of the movie, where it really is more horror,
Mhm.
in that people are being eaten by the shark. There is this sense of where's it going to come from whenever these scenes happen, and then once Brody, Hooper, and Quint board the Orca, which is the finest boat to ever appear in film, um, it becomes an adventure movie. It's a completely different tone.
It's an action film. Like it's totally It's The Hunt. Like it's
Yes.
almost like what is it? What's it? The Ghost of the Darkness, where they're hunting the lion. Like
Yeah.
it's a hunting. It's a yeah. Here we
Yeah.
go.
And it's almost swashbuckling. I mean, even John Williams's score has this kind of swashbuckling
Hmm.
attitude to it into the entire second half, which is them basically at sea. You've got Hooper, who's the science. You've got Quint, who's the brawn
Hmm.
and the instinct, and then you've got Brody, who has no idea how he got into this situation.
Does not belong on that boat at all.
Not at all.
At
But
all.
he represents the town
Hmm.
and the town's interests. So that's why he's there. And honestly, I think going back to him being fish out of water and being, I think they don't really go into it in the movie, but I always took it as this is his way of saying, okay, I want to be one of you.
Yes.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to deal with this because I need to earn my stripes.
Hmm.
You know, so that always kind of was something in my brain watching this movie as far as his character. So they're out in the middle of the ocean, although in some scenes you can see the shore. Uh,
Whoops.
but yeah, but the because they had to, they could only shoot in water that was deep enough to allow for the shark's mechanics to be literally anchored to the floor bed to
Wow.
be able to show the shark. So you're on the boat now, and Brody's learning things. He's learning how to fish. He's learning how to tie knots.
Hmm.
Um, Hooper's studying things, and Quint is just it's like his living room. He really, literally, his chair is almost like an easy chair. The chair he fishes from.
And he's
Um,
sober the entire time,
and
which is nice.
there's another great sequence where, um, uh, again, we're on the Orca, and there's been no sign of the shark. The guys are looking a little bored at this point,
Hmm.
and then you hear that click click
Oh.
of the reel
Hmm.
as that really thick line is getting
Yep.
just ever so slowly taken, and Quint slowly pulls on the one strap of his chair, slowly pulls on the other strap, seatbelts, real quietly calling
Hmm.
orders over to Brody, um, and then we get the chase sequence.
Yep.
The shark takes the bait,
And that
and
line takes off. Zzz,
oh yeah,
gone.
yeah, yeah. It just and they got to pour water on the reel. I always
Hmm.
love that they
Yep.
pour water onto it to keep it cool. Um, and then they figure we got it. This is going to be easy. No, it's not. Then the entire second half of this movie is them trying to figure out how they can catch this fish, as Quint would put it,
Hmm.
this big fish. There's the entire barrel sequence where they got to attach a number of yellow barrels, which I also have as tiki mugs. I didn't bring
Oh,
those up.
really? No way.
Yeah, I've got a buddy of mine, Brandon Clayla. He created a 3 glass set of those barrels that
Shut
are little tiki
up.
mugs. Yeah, they're really cool.
That's pretty badass. That's awesome.
It's cool. But again, the barrels became the way they could show the shark without having to show the shark.
Hmm.
And again, it's a better film for it. Um, one of the finest sequence, one of the greatest. I kind of skipped ahead, but the greatest visuals in all of cinema for me is a Brody chumming the all the blood into the water and says, "Why don't you come over here and shovel some of this shit?" And boom, there's the shark.
Boom.
You know,
Oh. And then he says his famous ad-libbed line.
yeah, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat. Yeah,
And the fear in his face is so great. Like
it's
it's
awesome.
that tight shot on his face, and he just like
Yeah,
he's bolted upright.
yeah,
Every muscle in his body is tense. He's like,
yeah.
oh,
It's
uh,
wonderful.
yeah, it's so good. It's
And
so good.
while we're on cool shark sequences, another visual that's haunted me. Is another one of my favorite visuals. It's it's when the shark goes into the bay,
Hmm.
and Brody's son is on his boat, and the one guy rows over and says, "You guys need a hand with that?" And the shark tips his boat over, and as he's trying to get up on the boat, there's an overhead shot of the shark under the water. It never breaches, but
Uh-huh.
and you see the white and the gray of the shark as the guy gets pulled under. That visual is it's haunting.
Yeah.
And then you get your first bit of gore after that sequence is when the
Hmm.
when the guy's leg just drops to the floor, the bed of the seafloor, and just kind of it hits. You can and almost the rubber of the prosthetic actually was something good because when it hits that floor, it kind of goes and
Yep.
vibrates.
Uh,
It's great. I love it. um, but yeah, so they're on the boat. You got chase sequences with the shark trying to catch it. You have another amazing monologue from Robert
oh,
Shaw of his revealing his history with the Indianapolis
oh, it's so
and
good.
going in the water with those men and being one of the few that made it through that ordeal. And the juxtaposition of that monologue compared to what just precedes it, where they're
Having a great
comparing
time.
scars.
Hmm. Having a great time, getting drunk. It's
Yeah,
just like we're good for the night. I don't think he's sleeping. We'll be
yeah,
fine. We're just gonna have a good time. And
yeah. Hooper and Quint are are trading jabs on scars. And again, another great little comedic moment. Again, this film's got everything.
hmm
There's these splashes of comedy that just kind of give us a little bit of levity, knowing that the darkness that's about to overtake
hmm
these three men. But when they're doing that scar sequence, I absolutely love when Brody lifts his shirt and is about to make a comment about his appendix scar, but decides not to. It's great. It's great. I mean, its placement is perfect. It's just all right.
it's
If I
so good.
wasn't clear before, this is a perfect film. If I wasn't clear about that when we opened,
No, it really is. It has everything in this movie. It is so iconic that people, without ever seeing the film, I know that there are a lot of people out there, especially like newer, younger people that have never seen it,
yeah,
but they hear that music, they know exactly what it is.
yes, it's iconic, and
Yeah.
it represents a unstoppable force. And like my son, first time he saw it was in a theater. And I was like so happy that
Oh,
occurred. That
nice.
was his first viewing of Jaws, was in the theater at Universal. They were showing it one night, and I was like, oh my god, we got to go, man. You got to see this. I think he was like 10, 9 or 10, about the same age I was, which again I didn't even think
Wow.
about that's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
And again he loved it. So it's a film that if you're willing to go there, and it's not the shortest film in the world. Its runtime is pretty extensive.
Hmm.
But again, a lot of the Marvel movies are 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not too bad these days.
No, it's
Uh,
not bad.
but
Um,
yeah, just being able to watch it with him and see it through his eyes was fantastic.
that's awesome. Um, So we've got the shark. One of the things I loved about the chase scene, especially when I love it when the tides turn. So they are hunting him, and then it turns to where the shark is hunting them,
Yeah,
and going after them and dragging them out further to sea. Like, no, 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 you're in my house.
yeah,
And I love that direction with that. I don't know if that's in the book that they do that, but I love that they do that because the shark is no longer just this mindless, killing machine. It's smart. It's
yeah,
it's strategically targeting these people and this boat.
yeah. Well, and then you and pair that with Quint's um, focus becomes almost primal at that
Hmm.
point. Like he almost becomes more like the shark in his attitude and how what he's willing to do just to get it.
Hmm.
The fact that Brody makes an attempt to radio, and he immediately comes in and smashes that radio. He's like, no. Again, right or wrong, Quint knew exactly. I think Quint knew he's either going to come away with this shark or he's not coming back at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's a really interesting character trait for him. And being willing, if you think about it, being willing to like, I don't know, sacrifice two other guys just to be able to get the thing that has eluded him. Again, it's the Moby Dick scenario.
It's almost as if he's getting revenge for the Indianapolis.
Yes, no, that's a great point. That's a great point. This internal rage manifests, and it's a rage he's probably had consistent, for years and years. Because you look at his boathouse and
Mhm.
it's covered in shark jaws,
Mhm.
that he boils and displays. So he's just been taking his rage out on this species for years and years and years. And
Yep.
finally, like, this is the apex predator for him.
And how rare is it that that apex predator is in his neck of the woods in Maine, like in Amity?
Yeah.
Like great whites don't really go out there.
No,
So it's
the
like,
water's too cold.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? He shows up.
Yeah.
Um, the climax, I really enjoy putting Hooper in the cage. Um,
Yep.
that I'm like, really,
Yeah.
really, this shark who is it's just a beast. You're gonna that little aluminum cage is gonna
Yeah. Well, what's the
really.
cage go in the water, shark in the water. Well, introduce the first Spanish lady.
And he's laughing while he does it.
Yeah, and you know what we didn't do when you opened your beer and we had our first drink? We
Mm.
didn't say, "Here's to swim with bow-legged women."
Oh, damn it! You're right. Here's the swimming with bow-legged women.
So there we go. We covered that now. That was my bad. Uh,
Um.
now in the book, Hooper dies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he dies in the book. Another cool fact about that whole underwater sequence, that was all shot later, and that's not even Richard Dreyfuss in the water.
Oh, no way.
No, like even the close up, there when the shark's charging and you see that close up of Hooper's eyes
Hmm.
go wide, that's not Richard Dreyfuss.
Shut up.
No, in fact, most of that footage, because if you also look at a lot of that footage is of real shark footage,
Yes.
and oh god, the I got friends who love this movie that will kill me that I don't know the name of the two photographers that shot that footage, but I can't remember. But they shot that footage. It's actually, and that footage actually was a mishap because the great white shark actually gets caught. The real great white shark they were shooting gets caught in the line. That's why you see in the film it's like it's struggling around that cage
Yes.
because it gets tangled in that line. Um, and that's why they even created the sequence with Hooper jumping, swimming out of the
Cage.
cage because that footage doesn't have anybody in it, and it's the shark just wreaking havoc on it.
Yeah, and that's a crazy scene. Like I was like, oh man, what did they? Because I was like, what did they put up there for that shark to go that crazy?
Yeah,
But apparently it was caught in a line.
it got caught in the line. They cut it free.
Wow.
And again, miniature tank, miniature cage, um, and yeah, that whole underwater sequence was shot in a pool on the Universal backlot. There's this big cylindrical pool that's back there. They shoot a lot of their underwater stuff in. So that all that underwater, the Hooper, the shark kind of charging, all that was shot in there.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Wow.
couldn't. They decided not to do any of that stuff in Martha's Vineyard just because it was just so volatile.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
So we got the guys, the shark. They finally get the shark getting ready to. Well, the shark is basically killing them. Like he's winning this fight.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he rips the cage apart. The boat begins to sink. Um, oh yeah, that's right. The shark actually goes through the hull and then back out. And then we get the amazing death of Quint,
Oh,
which is again his flailing legs actually have that. Hold on.
oh. You
Hold on a
wait. You
second.
have. Hold on. Hold on. What do you?
Check this out. McFarlane put this out years ago.
Oh my God.
It's that scene.
Oh wow.
And look, there's a little Quint,
There's
and
a
the
little
Quint can
quit.
fit inside the shark's mouth. But better yet, hold on. Better yet, the Quint can come apart, and there are his innards. I know if you're listening to this, it doesn't have the same effect, but I have a little miniature figure of Quint, and his top half can come apart from his lower half, and you can see all of his innards on the inside.
Watch it on YouTube. This is a perfect example of going to YouTube right now so you can see this. So you can actually see what it looks like. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, they put this out. God, this is. I think I was still working at Game Lab when this thing came out.
I just want to see the so it was back in Game Lab, so that was 97 when I was there, 98. So I want to see the Saturday morning cartoon commercial for that with Rip Apart Quinn.
There's that. That Funko put that out. Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that's my kid's college fund right
There it
there.
is, right there. So we got Quint dies
Yeah,
horribly. It's
horrific
great.
death, but
Oh
also completely appropriate.
yes, I kind of feel like that's how he wanted to go out.
Yeah, again, he's either going to come back with the shark or he's going to die in its teeth.
Yeah,
That's exactly what happens.
and and so the boat goes down. Hooper is down underneath the
Well,
water.
in the film, you think he's dead. You're
Yeah,
not sure. You're not sure what happened. Brody believes he's dead. Um, and then this is then our fish out of water has got to get in that water. And this is his moment to also use, because we never, the one thing about Brody is we never get a sense of his history when he was I think, was he in he was a cop in uh was he a cop in New York?
I thought it was Chicago. I don't know. It was a big city.
I can't remember, but anyhow, we don't ever get a sense of his history as a police officer, and
Mm-mm.
and like, how good is he? So the fact that he's able to make that shot,
Yeah.
and that could only have been him,
Yep.
because no one else on that island probably has that sort of sharpshooter
Mm-mm.
ability. So the fact that he's able to take a couple shots, I can't remember how many, but and then the famous "smile, you son of a," and you never hear "bitch"
Boom.
because the shark explodes.
Boom.
Another cool fact: when the shark is when its pieces are kind of
Mhm.
floating, there's like an underwater shot of the shark kind of floating down.
Yeah.
There's an awesome sound effect of like this. It sounds like this
Hmm.
weird sound effect. That's actually the same sound effect Spielberg used in his film prior to Jaws, which was The Duel. It was the semi coming off the cliff.
Oh wow.
It's the same sound effect, and he used it for Jaws.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
So Brody saves the day,
yes,
shoots the oxygen tank,
yes,
explodes the shark, and he's sitting there celebrating.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, you see something come up.
Yep. And you again, I think the first time anybody saw the movie, they thought it was the shark. It was going to be
Yes.
like it'd be like the old attraction. Remember when you kill the shark and its burnt face comes up and there's that final lunge. Yeah. So you think of that. Instead, it's Hooper. He
It's Hooper.
survived.
And they
And
have
and
to
again,
swim back.
if you watch the credits, they finally make it to shore. If you watch the entire credits,
Oh, really? I don't
um,
think I've ever
yeah,
seen it.
if
Yeah.
you watch the entire credits, the last shot just before the credits fade away, you can see Hooper and Brody on their raft finally hitting shore.
Wow.
Yeah,
What a great film. This is
man,
an amazing film.
I
Um,
agree.
I don't. I'm assuming my kid has seen it. I've been trying to introduce her to a lot of my favorite films. Um, but I know that her mom is a huge Jaws fan, so
Hmm.
I'm assuming she's already seen it. She's also a huge, or my daughter is a huge horror fan. She loves horror
Nice.
movies. So I've been
Raising them right, Ali. Good job.
boom. I've been getting her involved in all the great horror films, and trying to see the ones that are age appropriate. I'm like,
Sure.
okay, yeah, you can watch that.
Yeah.
No, you can't watch this one yet.
How old is she
Just wait.
now?
She's about to be 14.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Caden just turned 15 last week.
holy cow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
insane to me.
He's watched a lot. Like, because again, when I grew up, man, my parents didn't care what I watched. So
I know.
and I turned out fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Um, I saw Scarface at like 9.
well,
Yeah.
isn't that a rite of passage?
Yeah, it's like the chainsaw scene in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna scar me forever. This is totally fine.
But then
Thanks,
you
Pop.
get Michelle Pfeiffer at the same time. So the juxtaposition works.
It's all right. It's all right. All right, bloody, but hey, Michelle Pfeiffer. Uh, um, so Jaws, what are your favorite? Like, what other than the big iconic scenes? Are there any
Yeah.
little things about this film that you really love that most people miss?
I don't know if most people miss this, but the one of the charms of the front half of the film, for me and a lot of people that I've talked to about this movie, they bring it up too, is is the fact that most of the people that aren't your main cast were people that lived on the island. literally residents of Martha's Vineyard,
Oh
were
wow,
cast as the residents of Amity. So you've
that's
got
awesome.
this colorful cast of people who are not actors. They were real people who just happened to be appropriate, that Spielberg and the casting crew felt they were appropriate for the film. So you've got all this awesome color of personalities
Hmm.
that make up the fictional town of Amity. That's one bad hat Harry. The guy that comes in is like old man boobs are wobbling, and you're like, oh god, and he's wearing this the swim cap. It turns out that guy was from Martha's Vineyard, and he was a mailman.
Shut up.
And yeah, and he also would what made him beloved in Martha's Vineyard is he would write letters back to kids as Santa. So when kids
Aw.
when kids sent their letters to the post office, he would always do a return from Santa, written by him, but playing Santa. So there's just one example, but even uh, um, Kittner's mother, when she comes up in the black dress and the veil, and she had, I think she may have been an actress, but only a couple things. I can't remember. Again, my friends of mine are going to be slapping me in the head because I can't say this stuff. But again, this hard drive's only so full, Ali, and
I
as
know.
things have to enter, I have to purge other things. Um, but she was the cool thing about that scene is that she was having difficulty faking a slap. We know when she slaps Brody
Hmm.
for the death of her, for being responsible for the death of her son. So Roy Scheider just told her, hit me, like
Yeah,
just lay into me, and she did, and that's the scene.
that's a great hit.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
great hit.
So that's probably one of my other favorite things about the movie is just the awesome color that they're
Hmm.
and of personality that they kind of invade the fictional town with, and it feels real. It feels authentic,
Yeah.
um, uh, and I think that helps the film as well because you have this otherworldly story going on,
Mhm.
of this bloodthirsty shark and the town that it's dealing with. The town really, you do feel for that town. You feel for the people there, and it's really brilliantly constructed
Yeah.
from a script standpoint.
I think the script obviously is brilliant. The direction is so good. There are
Hmm.
so many things that you touched on it a little earlier about how just making other things to make the shark better. Just those happy accidents and stuff.
Hmm.
Building the suspense when the little boy gets eaten essentially.
Hmm.
It's the mom's reaction that makes that so good because you feel for her. She's searching, she's scanning the beach
Yeah.
for her son,
Yep.
and there's also a little thing that they put in there as well right before that scene. It's the dog.
Yeah. Pippin.
So you have the little dog, and everybody, I mean, ask John Wick. You don't mess with dogs. You don't mess with dogs.
That's
So
right.
now America's going, not the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, it killed
Yeah.
the kid. That's fine.
Yeah. Right.
um,
Well, the last thing you see in that entire sequence is the raft, the
yes.
raft in bitten in half, and just the hint of red in the water. Yeah, it's but yeah, the Pippin, because that's kind of the foreshadowing. He starts calling the dog. Again, set up beautifully. He's playing fetch with
Yep.
his dog, and they kind of set that up, and then his dog doesn't come back, and you're just hearing him look for him, and then the major sequence happens with the boy's death. There's also another deleted scene in that sequence because there's the kill there, and then it
Mhm.
goes into the bay, and no, that's later. I'm sorry. The one in the bay is later, where it almost attacks Brody's son. There was an entire sequence they shot. There's actually footage of it, I think, on the Blu-ray. Um, the shark, that the guy that I talked about that gets taken and his leg gets bitten off
Right.
and kind of floats down. There's a whole sequence where he's being dragged in the shark's mouth, and he grabs Brody's son as the
Oh.
shark is passing by. So he and his son are being dragged by the shark, and
Oh.
that's the reason why he's so kind of comatose in the hospital later on in the
Because
in
he
the
was.
sequence.
Oh.
Yes, because he for lack of a better word, he was attacked but just never bitten.
Wow.
But this man, as he's dying, grabs him and takes him along for the ride as the shark is heading out to sea with this body.
Oh.
Yeah, they shot it and never put it in. But again, there is some footage I think on the Blu-ray. It's probably on YouTube as well. But and there's a couple. How I found out about it was there were
Uh-huh.
some black and white photos that were that popped up, and I was like, oh my god, I don't even know what this sequence is. He's literally, he's being dragged by the shark, and it turns
Mhm.
out it was this deleted scene.
So great films. Almost all great films have quotable moments.
Yes.
Do you feel that Jaws, because I feel that Jaws is an overall movie, like
Yeah.
it's not just about the single moments, but do you think that there are enough quotes in the Jaws movie that are notable, that people know? Do you think it's a good quotable movie?
Yeah, I think there's plenty of quotes. I think again, you're going to need a bigger boat. Is whether
Well,
you.
before you start quoting, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to see how many you can quote.
Oh my god.
How many Jaws quotes can you do?
Oh god. Oh, oh man.
So
Okay,
you
I
get
gotta.
you get 2 minutes. Let's see how you can do. I got my buddy, one of my very best friends, Jason Logan, did Caddyshack, and he knows Caddyshack just like you know Jaws. And as soon as I said, "Give me some quotes," because he knows that movie back, he goes, "Oh," and I go, "Whoa, you're panicking. What's going on?"
Yeah, I don't. I'm so bad at this. I'm so
Let's
bad
see
at this,
how many
Ali.
you know. Two
Oh
minutes.
god. Okay,
Go.
we going? Okay. Smile, you son of a bitch. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Mhm.
Um. Um. You'll get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing. This shark will swallow you whole. Uh. Um. Oh God. Here's a swim with bow-legged women. Farewell and adieu, ye spare Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain. Um, uh, uh, I can do anything. I'm the chief of police. Um, uh, did I do smile, you son of a bitch? I did.
Yep.
I think they say shit in the movie. So okay, there we go. Um, uh, Ellen yelling, "Get out of the boat! You heard your father."
Ooh, that's a
Um,
good one.
uh, God. Uh, what's the last line Quinn says in the Indianapolis? Anyway, we delivered the bomb. That's the
Boom.
last thing he says in that.
I gave you
Um,
too much time. Should have only been a minute.
oh,
We'd be
sorry.
here forever. No, dude, you got 10. You got 10 quotes in a minute. Nice. I was like,
uh,
2 minutes. Wait, that's a long time. Nope, you get 1 minute.
oh God, I'm sweating.
Perfect. Now it's time for the trivia.
Oh
Um,
Jesus.
so we do 10 questions and a bonus question. No
Okay.
one has got a perfect score yet.
Okay. I'm
We've
awful at
had,
trivia, Ali. I'm awful at it.
you've already answered like half of them.
Oh,
When
okay.
you were just
All
talking
right.
about it, I went,
Okay.
well, there goes that one. There goes
Okay.
that one. There goes.
Okay.
Um, so I've had someone miss one question, but get the bonus question, but I've not had the perfect score,
Okay.
10 out of 10. And
Okay. I will do my best, but I have no hope.
I have faith in you.
Okay.
We've already covered these.
Okay.
Number one, what year was the movie released?
75.
75. What is the name of the mechanical shark?
Bruce.
Bruce. There you go. Named after?
Spielberg's lawyer.
Boom. What is the name of the mayor?
Vaughn, Mayor Vaughn,
What is the name
and
of Quint's
a
boat?
wonderful coat.
Yeah. Oh my God, with the little anchors.
Yeah.
Uh, what is the name of Quint's boat?
The Orca,
See, you're killing these. Where was the film shot?
Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm. Now they're going to get a little tougher.
Okay, all right.
Which state is on the license plate that they pull from the stomach of the tiger shark when they do the late night autopsy of the shark that was not the shark that it wasn't the
Oh
great white?
God. Was it Massachusetts?
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Hooper says just what I thought. It came up through the Gulf waters,
Oh,
and then he throws the thing, the license plate.
the Gulf Waters. It's not. Is it Texas?
Oh, so close. It's Louisiana.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Um, What is the name of the little boy who gets killed?
Alex Kittner.
Boom. How much does Quint want to kill the shark? Does he ask for? How much money?
Oh, $10,000.
$10,000. Um, who wrote the book that the
Peter
film is based?
Benchley.
Peter Benchley. This is one of my favorite questions. Who broke Hooper's heart? He
Oh
shows the scar,
God.
broken heart. Who is it? What was
Oh
her
my
name?
God. Sally something. I don't know.
Oh my God! So not close. Um, Mary Ellen Moffat.
Mary. Oh God. See, you say it, and I go, God, I'm stupid. I should know that.
Mary Ellen Moffat. And
Mary
then the
Ellen
bonus
Moffat.
question:
Okay.
what is the name of the first victim in the movie?
Chrissy.
Yes, I will accept Chrissy.
Okay.
Christine Watkins is her full name,
Okay.
but yes, they call her Chrissy as well.
Yes.
So you got the bonus question. You did miss 2 during the 10.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to get the Mary Ellen Moffat. I had a feeling you would get that one.
I should have. I should have. You can revoke my geek card.
Mike, thank you so much, man. I had a blast with you here.
This was great. Come on, talking about this, I could go. We can go another hour if you want.
I know we can. That's why I was like, I kept checking my clock. I'm like, I got to keep this to an hour at max. I got to keep this to an hour max. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah. My social media of choice is Twitter, and it's Michael_Aiello on Twitter. Instagram's the same, and then I'm on Facebook. I don't do TikTok. I don't know what Snapchat is. But yeah, Twitter's the main thing. Michael_Aiello. Oh, and I have a podcast as well.
What?
Like, if I could plug that,
Please
that would
plug
be great.
away.
So it's called We're Grounded with Austin and Mike. It is a monthly podcast, a part of the Death Wish Coffee podcast family. And it's me and my buddy Austin Romero, otherwise known as Mike Rome on WWE. And it's a monthly podcast where we just geek out about all things pop culture, and we interview some pretty cool people. And it's just a good time. It's about hour-long podcast
Nice.
once a month.
That's awesome. I'm gonna try to get Mr. Romero on as well. I want to. We'll talk a little WWE movie, the movie with The Rock, or The Rock and the lady from England. That movie that came out last year. What is it?
Paige's movie. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, it's whatever, the family thing.
Either that, or you can do See No Evil, starring Kane as a slasher.
Wow. Or we could do
what's it? It's Hulk Hogan's
Piper.
movie.
Oh, Roddy Piper.
They Live.
They Live.
Yeah, you could do They Live. Or what was the Hulk movie? Hulk Hogan was in a film in the 80s. Oh God, what's it called?
Strike Force? No, that was his boat. The boat television.
Yeah, that was Thunder in Paradise.
Yeah.
Crap. Okay.
God, what was his movie? Well, he was in Rocky 3.
Thunder Lips.
Thunder Lips.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Holy cow. Those of you listening or watching, don't forget, find us on iTunes, find us on YouTube at Real Drinks with Aiello Flores, on Instagram, Real Drinks with Aiello Flores, and on Facebook, Real Drinks with Aiello Flores. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Mike, I can't thank you enough for joining me, man. It was a blast.
Ali, I love you, man. This was awesome.
I love you too, brother. Be good.
You too.